Welcome to Mori, episode 19, here with Koma and Alducri.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. I'm gonna change my
okay.
name here.
Hello, guys.
So, tonight we're talking about a bit of a gore manga, a bit of a torture manga, you could say. We won't show any pictures because YouTube won't appreciate that. But we're also talking about other stuff like translation of Tower Dungeon is finally out, so that's nice. And yeah, but first off, I guess Beauty of the Razors by June Hayami. Yeah, or
Yes,
girl. Yeah.
this is a weird case because it's a mystery basically. We could consider it like a case of lost media if it was actually even released in the first place. Because no one knows if this volume was ever released in English for certain. I mean,
Mm.
it was scheduled to be released because we have an ISBN code, and I mean, we have also a sale from eBay. I don't know
And that's
when it was sold, but apparently one copy of this book was printed. I mean, actually 69, what a number. 69
Nice.
copies were printed, as we assume that were printed at some point, and we do not know if that is true of but the fact that it was actually printed, maybe it's proof enough because apparently they were planning to release the book like normally. They were planning to print it, but at some point, after many delays, they decided to release it only as an ebook on their site. We have a page on Internet Archive about this, and it's
Yeah, I
like
mean,
the last trace we have about. I don't know. It's very very weird because I mean, if they were able to print it, it means that the translation was done at some point. But then, after a few months, they deleted everything, and the page of this manga was no more on their site. But I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Some has called this volume like an only grail because it's so rare and no
mm,
one knows for certain if it was even released, as I said.
yeah, yeah. And you first saw it on, or well, you did see it on Crunchy Sun Reviews Discord server. He has also
Yeah,
a channel on YouTube.
yeah, we were talking about it on that Discord server because there is a guy who has been hunting it for many years actually. But
Mm.
I mean, I don't think he will able to find it. I don't know. And even if I mean, I would assume it would cost us so much money actually.
1,000.
I don't know. I mean, actually, this publisher, we are going to talk more about this publisher later because there's some stuff to talk about, but they released another Eroguro manga, this time by Suehiro Maruo. And this volume was actually printed and released normally, and
Mhm.
it's now one of the most rare and difficult to find a single volume manga in English. It's called Ultra Gash Inferno.
Ah, yeah, I know the one. I
Ah,
know
well,
the one.
Like it goes for like $700 on Amazon or something like that. I don't know. Maybe the actual price is probably like a couple of bucks less, but surely it's something that you don't find often for sale.
No, no, no. I have one book of him. Oh, what was it called again? It's the only one that's been in English so far, like a master edition. It's called again. Uh, oh, Panorama Island. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Tales of Panorama Island. Yeah, that was one he did.
Yeah, that is based on a novel. Basically Marwo did the adaptation, and it's different from the other stuff that he has done, I believe. Alducri has read that, I think.
He's done a lot of adaptations, so it's not that different. Mostly,
Yeah.
he has done another one adaptation from Rampo, and it should be Kuro Toge. Well, the Black Lizard, but I still have to read that.
He also has a lot of political standpoints from like the mid 20th century, from like nationalist Japan, etc., etc. But his art is pretty good, so I don't know whether his standpoint view is on that, but but I'm like, that's also like 30, 40 years ago probably that he drew all that. I mean, he hasn't made anything since like the early 2000s, as far as I know.
Mhm. So, what do you think about Junayami Alducri? You have read this volume. Do you think it's worth the hype that people should be able to read it in English
The
at
most
some
cool
point?
and awesome. I like the quotes put there, like a rare feast of unmitigated atrocity. I don't know what Nicolas Bourgoff read, but yeah, it's for me. It's just a rare feast of unmitigated atrocity. It's just that sometimes there's like some story which is not that gory, but most of the stuff that you can read is just that violence and nothing else. I know that some people are into violence. I'm not into violence, so I don't. I didn't
I
really
mean,
like that.
the violence itself, it's not a problem. If there's more, I guess.
Yeah, because mostly some of
If,
these stories
if
are just violence and violence and violence, and you just get nothing from them.
yeah, even the other book that I have read,
Just a
like
gore movie,
it's
basically.
basically like only rape and torture and
Yeah.
slaughter,
Yeah,
and there's nothing more than that. I mean, to be fair, some panels are like well done. They have
yeah,
an artistic value to them,
yeah.
but
The one
the
right here is a
story,
bit Junto Ito-esque, you would say.
Mm,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
read a lot of his stuff.
it's vintage, like. And it's like rough and unpolished
yeah, very important.
Mm,
style of manga. Like you, but I mean, I personally like it. Some people say that
Yeah.
the drawing is bad, but I
Yeah,
disagree.
the character
I
design
mean,
is pretty basic and it's not very interesting.
Polished.
No, not polished, but interesting. It's just very generic and
yeah, he's just torturing some girl and just
yeah.
going wild with it. Yeah, I've
And then
seen some manga that
he
do that.
admits that in the interview at the end of the volume because he just says, "Yeah, all the girls I draw are the same because I can't write, I can't draw." So at least it is honest.
So
So
yeah,
I mean, I remember another manga that Korean Shun once had a video on that was basically just a serial killer that murdered girls and other people in some cabin, and then he just kept a diary on that and just went on and on and on. And the further he got, the more his demons in his mind kept telling him what the fuck he all has done, and then just at the end of the thing, he doesn't even care. And that's basically just a manga. That's it. But some people just read it for the art. Like many of them, like you see some fucked up shit. But I mean, some of these manga have really good art, and like it's just a pity that it just gets buried, and especially on YouTube and other places. Even on Patreon, yeah, Quincy Sun Reviews got lost his Patreon probably because of the manga he covers all the time, and
not
he
really.
don't want to see it. But I'm like, what kid would buy a Patreon membership of him to see those kinds of videos? Or what kid would even find his YouTube channel in the first place? So it's like overly cautious. But yeah,
he had a YouTube channel before the one that he has now, and it got banned because he showed like manga or books that were not supposed to be shown on YouTube. Actually, I don't know if you are aware of that.
yeah,
Unfortunately for him, and for some time he used to be active on Vimeo, and then moved back to YouTube.
mm.
So,
yeah.
so to continue this discussion about these guys' creation books, apparently, I mean, they used to be shady guys, and we don't like. They probably don't have the rights to. They didn't have the rights to publish those books, probably, because
Like most.
there is there is a site about them being a fraud and ripping off the authors they published. Basically, yeah, this is the whole story. Basically, someone covered it and put things to light. And I mean, it's funny that a publisher like this used to publish manga as well. I wonder.
That's a long article.
They're remaining in Thailand and out of reach of British courts.
Yeah, he basically fled to Thailand at some point, so he never answered for the crimes he committed, actually. So as far as we know, and of course, it's impossible to reach him. But after checking Internet Archive, there are like the old email addresses, and those apparently are still active.
Yeah.
Believe
So
it
we
or
can
not.
get him on the
You can send an email, because if the email address is not active, it doesn't exist anymore, you get a message that says that basically it was impossible to deliver your email. But it wasn't the case, because I tried to contact them, and I mean, the email went through, and I don't know. It's weird because the site, it's probably still active in some way or another, but who knows? They are basically
getting some cryptic message back. You have your whole family or something like that.
all the testimonials, basically all the authors that were ripped off by them. I wonder if for Maruo and this Junayami guy was the same. Like they paid an anticipation, like an advanced payment for the publishing rights, but after it was time to pay the royalties for the books they sold, they disappeared, basically. So yeah, ugly stuff, I guess. And unfortunately, it's not uncommon even today among publishers. Me and Alducri know something about this, unfortunately, because we have bad publisher in Italy. I won't say the name of the publisher, but
Panini?
No, they have, fortunately for everyone, despite the criticism, they are a legit company.
Okay. I mean, yeah. It's an interesting history, obviously. Pity we can't show anything, but
I wonder if someone will share if it actually exists, the ebook of this Beauty Labyrinth of Razors.
the link was from 2020, so I'm like, I don't know, probably existed at some point. Probably.
It was printed. It was printed at some point. Those 69 copies. So, I assume that it existed and someone maybe downloaded it, but
yeah,
now it's lost forever because no one has it. No one is sharing it. It was
keeping it.
It's still niche stuff. Don't get me wrong, because it's Eroguro and was never advertised decently. But I would love to see the file if it actually exists. Even to compare the translation that was done back in the day to the Italian and the French one. By the way, the Italian translation is based on the French one. Alducri knows something about this.
Just something. And mostly also, the real strange things about the English edition is that the index of the one-shots that are included is very different from the actual index of the stuff that's on the book, and many more things that don't add up. Probably Koma already knows this, but
yeah,
because Beauty Labyrinth of Razors does not exist in Japan. It's Jun no Tamashi, aka June's soul. And I've seen the list of the one shots on my anime list, and the names correspond to the name we got them. Correspond to the names we got in Italian and in French. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
the things
basically.
that I can see in the English index, first there's like 12 stories, and it's 10, the original one, and the name I could decipher didn't match any of the actual names. So maybe it's not even what we got, probably. So I don't really know what's on.
Maybe some other work and just the
Yeah.
credits are just mismatched and then just put out, and then they thought like, nobody's gonna read this, nobody's gonna want this, and it's just bury it somewhere. I mean, they have done that with OVAs back in the day, like OVAs on the Cold War, for instance. They made it and ran and just tried to bury it deep as possible so you can just put it online anywhere without anybody getting the copyright, because nobody has the copyright, or just the people are long dead, or like nobody wants to take credit for it because they don't want to, anybody to find about it. So, yeah.
So, to talk about other things, since we were talking
Yeah.
about Eroguro manga, do you like stuff? I don't know, Shintaro Kago. Have you read anything by him? Or I mean, you have read something from Maruo?
Yeah,
Panorama
Panorama
Island.
Island. I've read that. And, I've followed some videos of...
Have you watched the anime of Midori Shoujo Tsubaki?
No. I know he said he skipped like 2 anime of it. Like one was from the circus one, the Inferno manga. Basically, that was probably really fucked up, but the aren't really good. But yeah, I had it on my plan to watch list for like ages, so I probably still have to watch. Yeah, I still have to watch that one. And other than that, yeah, I don't know. No, I have not much read about him. Basically, just that one work, and then was there a short story in there? No, it's just that one. Yeah, basically just read that one, nothing else. Basically, and obviously I have followed some videos. And I guess on gore stuff, I mean, Dark Hideout is the closest that I have on my bookshelf that really comes close to like the survival and the gore and whatnot that comes in there. Pretty good art, but doesn't much go further than that. Never released in English, by the way. It was only in German and maybe some other languages, but nothing in English. So yeah, that basically. For real gore, or like, I don't know, Dora maybe Helsing. Oh yeah, Helsing also got a new release for the singles, by the way. I saw that in English. So they getting 1 through 10 is getting back in stores and online. So that's also nice. So I can finish my set of 10 volumes. I've like of the old versions, I've like 1 through 8, but I still miss the last volumes because, well, they cost a shitload. There's a really expensive stuff, is that? Go for a few $100. So I can finally finish that. Different translation, obviously. It covers the original of the English one, of the Japanese one, by the way. Wait, I can find it.
Oh,
Maybe. It's also. Let me see. Almost. Yeah, here.
let's see.
Helsing rises from the grave in new editions. So they probably made this edition because not everybody can buy the master editions, the red master editions, like the omnibuses. So they probably just reprinted the original one with the original Japanese cover. So that's nice. It's basically just the same volume, but with a different translation. So this one is released this month. By the way, I saw it in stores for like $20. Who the fuck is gonna buy this for like 20 euros? It's like impossible to, That's still cheaper than how you can buy the old volumes. But hey, it's still great that they release this again. Probably will buy the last two volumes online somewhere on Amazon or something. But hey, that's a nice thing to have. And yeah, for the rest, Tomanie has got some new releases. Well, first chapter was finally translated in English. There were two English translations. One on Tumblr was kind of iffy, not really that great one to read. And then the second was better. That's on Manga Dex, basically.
Hmm. What do you think about it then? If you ever read it?
The story, well, not that bad. It's a bit more. I mean, it starts out a bit more complicated than the whole kind of did. Kind of was really down goddamn easy. It's a bit more Dark Souls themed this time around. And basically, what we've seen from the story so far is that, well, he kills the monster. What we've seen in the last episode, and get some kind of amulets, and the monster tells him via a projection that he shows him that he has that bring it to the level 100 of the tower, and then he will exchange the princess for that. So yeah, and we also don't really know if the princess is really alive anymore, just his puppet, because we saw him take over the girl in the beginning of the manga, but yeah, that's also all to speculation. He's called a dragon for some reason. He's nothing of dragon, maybe for the power. We don't know yet, but you know. But there's also just a character that's not all divine. He can't do anything that he wants. He has to have somebody go out in the dungeon, get some stuff for him, and get him to the top basically.
Hmm. I'm curious to know how this series will be received by the audience. I mean, considering that it is apparently quite different from anything it has released in the past. So,
Mhm.
since it's not just sci-fi, it's basically fantasy.
Also,
And
now he's doing
Medieval fantasy, basically. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not much. Maybe we get technology later on, but we're not sure yet.
I
But
mean, it's just the beginning of the series, so anything can
yeah,
happen, basically.
anything can happen. Tower.
I believe it's going to be released everywhere soon enough, only because it's
Yeah,
EA.
yeah, we have no release date yet. We just have the fan stuff, basically. And
I would
do
never
you
say this.
know any of
Mm.
Nia's works, or just like what else are we talking about?
This is really strange. Just from the face of the girl, I can tell it's Nia, but from everything else, it doesn't really seem Nia.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no. It's he come from a completely different style, by the way. Oh
yeah.
well, he's changed the style a lot of the time,
Well,
and
at
he's
least
never
it's not just white now.
Compared
no
to
like in a
It's not just
Posimis or
white.
like other works. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's
yeah,
also
compared to like Aposims is like the last manga I did, or I don't know.
Oh, there's another one he's doing. Because last year he started another one. I don't remember the name. And then
yeah,
last month,
kind of the Great Snow Sea. That's the last one.
oh,
It
yeah,
also came out this year.
and
We
he's
still have
doing
to wait on the
manga now.
movie.
So it's strange.
I mean, some people will never enjoy this change of style
Like
compared to
most people, like me.
you prefer Blanc or Blame.
Yeah, the best one artistically is Abara for me.
Abra, yeah. I can see why. I mean, it's obviously, it's old. his old style from like till Sidonia was like his best ones. I think Biomech had more the comprehensive story, you could say. It's also a bit like, a clusterfuck of different ideas, obviously, but it still had something more going on than what kind of ever did. Although in the second half it went more wide, it changed his style, but still had some great art in there. It was not like completely white like Impossimus or kind of whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah. But yeah, Blame also will forever stay probably his best work. His you could say magnum opus in a way. It's like his cult classic, obviously, because everybody's still talking about it. Everybody is still making game projects about it and whatnot. So people really never stop going on about it. Basically, there will never be a point that you really can't recreate. Lightning in a bottle, basically. But yeah, I mean, you see the girl like being connected through him or something, like her eye changed. So don't know if she's even alive or just temporarily taken over, like a sort of puppet or something like that. But and you also have the GB logo on the front of Blame, and you also see the safeguard symbols also pop up throughout. So we're not really sure if it's this time later a reference or it's a continuation of his stories, or it is just so far in the future that it just gone back to the Middle Ages somewhere and just this is what it became. But who knows really.
The last page felt really Miyazaki.
Yeah, and also a bit of some faces of Chainsaw Man. Some faces really have the Chainsaw Man feel to them for
And most
some
also,
reason.
Abu Sims sometimes really felt like a strange case of a strange version of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Sometimes.
Mm, yeah.
Not for what happened, but the context, the world building.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was way more detailed back in the day, obviously. It just went on and on about different theories and different ideas and the landscapes, obviously, and the high action, obviously. And the battles lasted a lot longer than Impossimus. Impossimus is like, oh, 2 pages. Oh, and the battle is done, and we're going to the next idiot. And, they were just, I don't know. At the end of the manga, it was just kind of like, I don't know, they're kind of, all the enemies are kind of whining about their sisters, their mothers, their cats, and whatnot. Like, oh no, if I had the last moment to see them again, and then I think back about Biomech and and the enemies in there, like, oh, my head is chopped off, no problem. I'm gonna regenerate myself and end the mission. I'm not gonna stop till you're dead. Like they didn't stop. They just like go on forever just to finish their mission. One way or the other. That was just like really persistent. But Nia has just changed his overall look on life, I guess, because his characters are mortal now. There's no character like these characters in here are just mortal. Kind of was his first work where the characters were mortal. All the other characters were immortal because Nia had a really big fear for death. Thus, he didn't want to want these characters to be impossible to kill or almost impossible to kill. Thus, they survived that long in those worlds. Well, and other characters didn't, but you get what I mean. You didn't have the most positive outlook on life, basically. For some reason, Yufa, that's this guy's name, he's also really strong, kind of like Kitty. I don't know. I don't know if you have any connection to him because he is literally just a GB symbol on him. But yeah, I don't know. But have you read everything by Nie? Just like his old stuff, and then just skipped a few.
I'm only missing Knights of Sidonia because I tried to start it like 10 years ago, but I found it boring and I didn't really
Yeah.
like the art, so didn't didn't go keep on buying it. And now it's impossible to find in Italian, or I just would have to spend a lot of money, and I don't want.
Yeah. I
It's only a
mean, yeah.
matter of time before they reprint it or make
Yeah.
a new edition in Italian. So
I
you
also,
just have to
now
wait.
they said in during Luca Comics they are going to reprint Avara and the Omega,
Yeah.
but these two are just short series. So I don't know what
Mhm.
they're gonna do with Knights of Sidonia. The only one currently missing from the shelves, so maybe we'll see a new
Mm.
edition. I don't know. In English, it's published in 14 volumes, I guess.
Yeah, 15, 15 volumes it's been published. And in master editions, we also have like 6 different master editions, I think, or 7,
Oh,
something like that. But also being out of print in print off and on all the time, so like for years now. So I guess the master edition is still in print. Not sure really. Never really looked into that, but yeah, that's about it. And yeah, it is like his first mainstream work that really went big that he got out of the niche. Now he's gone back into the niche, and yeah, it's a more generic story. Like one guy can just do anything, and just all the girls just fling through him and just want to bang him, and etc. 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 Like you've seen a million times before. So it's not that interesting in that regard, but if I look back on that work, it had at least more story, at least more background story, more lore, more stuff to go on to than what we see in Kaina and other stories. For this story, not sure yet, but hey, so far it doesn't disappoint for now. I mean, could be way worse, really.
so will any of you guys go to Anglam this year? Next year, actually.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
For a good reason, actually.
Yeah.
And that
Ca-
is.
Hiroaki Samura, the author of Blade of the Immortal, will be there as a guest.
Ah.
No, probably also Shinichi Sakamoto, and that is a big pair of authors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's huge because I don't even know if Samura went to Europe before. I had no clue, but surely it's been quite some time before it did, since it did the last time. Like, so, I mean, if you like Blade of the Immortal, maybe, and you can go to France,
We'll see.
maybe it would be like a life opportunity there. So
Yeah, Angoulême. Yeah. I mean, it's the
you have been
second.
there once, right, Mars?
Yeah. In 2019 with Nie. That's where I met him when I was there for a week.
Have you got like a signature or
Yeah, of course. I
a
got in my
drawing?
edition of Noise, French Noise, that I bought there. Every copy, like, the first hours, has tickets in them. So you can get in line and get a signature. So that's why I got a signature from him. Also wanted to go to others, but they didn't have a book, so I couldn't attend. So, And for some weird reason, you only the people that work there said, "Oh no, you can only get this special card signed with like a drawing of Nie, and nothing else. You couldn't
Yeah, also in Italy they do
sign
this
your book
stuff.
for some reason."
It's just stupid. Like, what does it change for the mangaka to draw wherever?
Nothing actually.
Nothing. So it's just stupid because maybe I
It
could have
was
my
really dumb,
copy
and
signed.
everybody just did it anyway. Just gave his book to him, and he didn't care either, so he just wrote it down in his book. So I don't know. I don't know where there's a rule anywhere. So it's like there's no other event that does that. So yeah, I don't know. Well, whatever. Even asking him a question if all the worlds are connected, and he said like with a laugh, "I will reveal that in 10 years or something. Probably not, but it's also been a few years, so let's hope that it comes out. But who knows, really?
The Neaverse.
Yeah, if everything is all that seems to be. I mean, some worlds like Aposmus and Sidonia seem to be connected because in Sidonia there was a ship that's called Sidonia, so that could be connected to that. And his side was in 2011 was called Sidonia. Oh no, it was called Aposmus. So he already had that work in his head, while he was not even really working on it at the time. So this is all kind of weird. And yeah, the names got a bit more difficult. Like Calix, Elquilo. Like fuck, I can't even read that. I mean, in Blame was also kind of weird names. Some were Russian, some were just whatever Nia came up with, and now it's just like, yeah, just come like the most difficult thing you can come up with. Like even the Japanese couldn't even read that because they don't have a Q in their alphabet. So how would they read that today?
How long are these chapters? Oh, this one is nice.
Yes, that's the tower basically. That's
This,
like the
here I can
progression
say that,
screen.
okay, this is Nia. A little more polished than usual, but this very
Yeah,
nice.
that more lines, a bit more detail. It's got a bit more shadow in this time when we get into the tower itself. Actually, it gets a bit more Nia-esque, I could say. But there's also a lot of stuff that's like, yeah, you could do it better if you looked at Biomech and whatnot, basically, or Abra for that matter. If you look at the backgrounds. Like the whole thing is suspended just in midair, so I think like it's probably technology, so far as I can think of, but
Who
we're not
knows?
sure.
Hmm.
I mean, I've said this last time, in the last like episode. Like basically, this reminds me of Xenogears, which is a JRPG. There is something similar, a big tower that stretches over up to the sky, and it's actually what's left of a huge spaceship. I don't know. Maybe this could be something similar or not, but I mean, because you see. It's like a rundown tower. You see the structures and everything
Hmm.
on this panel. So it could be technology, actually.
Yeah, because the legend is that it fell from the sky onto the earth and just became landlocked, basically. So could be from a ship, but I'm like, I mean, but when you see the interior, you think like, yeah, that's not a ship. That's just like literally a dungeon. So I don't know how the fuck this works, but yeah, I don't know. He is gonna bit back to black, I guess, for this chapter. I don't know how it is gonna be because it's like 91 pages. So far, it's probably the next one's gonna be probably shorter, but I don't know. It's a bit more difficult. It's got a bit more going to, to it than it just being really simple. I mean, it's still simple, but like this is not the interior of a ship. This is literally just one giant temple. In fact, but yeah, this is also like lots of stuff like you would see in the Dark Souls games, for instance, like this kind of creatures or
Yeah, that's
yeah,
really Dark Souls. This is just like the Undead Burg. if you play Dark
yeah.
Souls. Hmm.
Like this, for instance, like I've seen zombies in Biomech that look way more detailed and way more, the nicer design than these. Like just it's still fine. It's like you can do better, but who knows? Maybe he just doesn't want to anymore, or just like changed so much that he really can't go back to that style anymore. Or doesn't want to. Hmm. You see a lot more dark in here, but you're in a dungeon, so it can't be. You know,
I mean, the main, I won't say issue because it's not, but it looks really good to me. But the problem is that it's an EA. It's an
Yeah,
EA, and we are used to something different, basically.
yeah, we're used to science
Like
fiction,
like
obviously.
we've said at the beginning, doesn't look like him at all. It could be any other author, actually.
Yeah. I see some faces that kind of look like you would see in a Posmus or in Sidonia somewhere. Like, these surprise faces at the bottom, for instance, or like other stuff. Kind of looks like that, but beyond that, not really. Yeah, except, the safeguard symbols that are on pillars. And they actually get a guy, this guy, the safeguard all over it on his head and on his shield. But unlike the safeguards, this guy has actually guts in him. So he's probably not a real safeguard. Maybe they picked up that symbol and just reused it for some reason, and it just has the same purpose. But fuck if I know. Or just literally just, oh no, I just, or Nia thought like, oh no, let me put this safeguard symbol on it. So you have the idea like, oh, he's safeguarding something.
He's just
He is
trolling
a
us.
guard or some dumb shit like that. I don't know. So far, but hey, it's all in black. That's not what I'm used to anymore. And he's speaking some weird language. I don't know. It's kind of nice. Oh yeah, all guts. I'm like, and the safeguards were basically just made on the spot of the materials around them were downloaded from a server, so they didn't have any guts. It's just like mindless machines that just have one goal is killing anything that's in its path, basically. But yeah. And this is and here's it's with more like Stony would say like these Ghana like you eat a person and you become the person. This looks kind of like a girl, but it's like kind of sucking up people and just keeping people for later as a snack or something like that. But yeah, this looks a lot like a Dark Souls boss, for instance. This is an arena, and this is like the creature you have to fight.
And how long are these chapters?
This one is 91 pages.
What?
Yeah, he puts it up in as 3 parts basically. So probably just to get people in. Yeah, I also have the magazine that came in last week or something with on the front page. This manga, by the way.
They really believe in it.
Yeah, that's probably why when they were busy with Kaina, he was just busy with this manga because he didn't have to do much with Kaina. So he just put all his time in this, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Now that I have remembered it, Alducri has read Leviathan, that 3-volume manga that is like similar in some aspects to the old NIE stuff, but the setting is the space. We talked about it a few weeks ago, I believe, on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about Leviathan, Alducri? Do you like it? I mean,
No, yeah, it's nice. It's a good series, and it's just 3 volumes, but it tells a complete story, which is also pretty interesting because there's some twists, and I think it's like they announced it in Italy for next year, and I was
yeah.
really happy for the Italian guys who will now be able to buy it. I already have it in French, but it's nice. And mostly it's cool that it first came out in France, and now it's being published in Japan on Manga Plus, and so it's a shonen, but it's pretty adult. So I don't know why they put it there. That's very strange.
Hmm.
Because it's pretty violent, and gory, not like Chainsaw Man. It's more adult, so it's well, a strange choice. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I read all the way through, and I had some weird stuff like all these traps with all these blades you put up. I'm like, who the fuck put up all these traps? Probably the bot, but I'm like, it's a support bot. Why the fuck would they have such blades on a ferry boat
Yeah,
just to set up everywhere? Or like, I don't know, other stuff. We don't know the first teacher who hanged her, probably the girl from the beginning of the series, but she got later killed, which is also kind of a spoiler, but yeah, I don't know, that's some weird other ends, but hey, it was just a nice read. There was nothing too unique. It was really great, really good art though. It was like really detailed, really like a bit sketch like you could say, but it's like pretty good stuff. I would
And the
say like.
art remains consistent throughout
Mhm.
the series, the 3 volume, or there are changes like in the second or third volume. Because I don't remember if someone else said that the first one has this amazing detailed art, those backgrounds, and then it kind of drop in. I don't know who it was, but I've read or hear someone say that. Can you confirm or? Hmm?
Mm,
can you
What do you?
say? Can you say it
Hmm?
again?
Basically, I've asked if the art of Leviathan remains consistent throughout the series, the three
Yeah,
yeah,
volumes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
or it
It's the
drops,
same.
or
Yeah. No, it
it's
doesn't
always
really
good,
drop.
but in the
It's the
first
same.
volume is more detailed, and it kind of changes art style going on. But it's not worse. It's less detailed. Not in a bad way. Just mean he changed the style. The first volume is really realistic. I would say, and it gets a little more manga. But the first volume is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it keeps on the same style throughout. Doesn't really change too much, I think. Yeah, don't really see any difference from what I've read. I also saw that's on Mall, or well, the one shot is on Mall, but they probably won't get the rest on because the whole thing was published not in Japan but in France. So first time around, because they had a special group so that overseas mangaka can publish their works. So yeah, and they probably won't post it because it was printed in France and not in Japan. Like, who gives a shit? The author is in Japan, made in Japan. You know, you put the first chapter for the one shot in from Japan also on the site. So I don't know. It's mall, so it's my anime list. So you know, they also have kind of problems that they can't really figure out what needs to be on the site and what doesn't need to be on the site. It's like, you know, it's kind of dumb, but yeah. I mean, beyond that, yesterday I went to the cinema. No, I went Tuesday, no, Thursday to the cinema. Yesterday to the cinema for two anime movies. One was Perfect Blue. I saw that in
Ooh,
the cinema first time.
yeah. Nice.
Pretty nice. Yeah, yeah. That was a re-release in 4K, so they were
I wish we
posting
could
every.
fucking get it because in Italy the rights are like lost in
Oh,
space since like 2000 and something because we had it published 20 years ago. Then they just lost the rights and they just don't know what to do with it. And also for Millennium Actress, so we can't get a new edition and we can't see it in Italian. So I just bought it in French.
you
yeah,
did the right thing, I guess. I guess that is an
yeah, yeah.
amazing movie. Basically,
Oh
maybe
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
the
it's
best
it's
one.
all over the place. It's not difficult at all. You can really figure it out, but you keep thinking about it, like how the whole story was set from different perspectives is, and how it all comes together, and it ends well for some reason. You think it would end horribly, but no, everybody gets a happy end somewhat. So, you know, yeah. and it was a pretty good screening. And like, obviously, you want these movies in actual cinema than just on your goddamn computer screen or something like that. So it was really nice to see.
Oh, it's
And
no doubt at the cinema it's going to be a different experience and
yeah,
very
oh yeah,
worth
yeah,
it.
yeah. Whole different experience. I mean, it's the same with movies like Akira, for instance. It's also like that's supposed to be in the cinema. It's not supposed to be on a small screen and whatnot. That just doesn't work
I
at
mean,
all for the scale.
those are masterpieces. So in a way or
Yeah,
another, it's better to see them even on your couch than not see them at all.
yeah, no,
But of
obviously,
course, if you have the chance to go to the cinema and watch them there, like Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Perfect Blue, uh,
need to be.
many more others movies. If you have the chance and you really like them, even if you already watched them, go again, go to the cinema and enjoy yourself there. Like
Yeah,
it's going to be another experience, another way to enjoy the movies that you already liked before so much. I mean, I should do that if the chance arrives. I don't know. Let's hope for the best, right, Alducri?
I don't hope anymore.
Like, I mean, another problem is that you have watched it with Japanese subtitles, right? I mean, with Japanese audio and English subtitle or something.
now I watched it with the sub in the cinema. I
In the
mean,
Netherlands, basically, because
yeah.
they don't dub anime there where you live. But here,
No, not in Dutch. I mean, they did, in the 90s, 80s, some did dub it, but now, no, it's just a
uh,
small country.
here in
So,
Italy, they dubbed everything. I mean, I'm not against the dubs, but for personal taste and because I've grown used to it, I prefer to watch everything in Japanese with subtitles.
yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know if I will enjoy the movie the same way because even if I do, I would feel the need to watch it again with the original audio, and it's quite possible that I will dislike how they did it in Italian. Not because I am like some sort of racist that I dislike every fucking dub they did here, but you got my point. It's more a matter of preference and getting used to it.
Yeah, I get
I've
it.
done this for more than 10 years, so it's difficult to change my ways now.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, for a series, you usually do just sub, English sub, and then for movies, I usually do the dubs because I know for a movie they put way more money into it and way more animation, so you don't want to miss that, and you don't want an hour long or like 2 hours, 3 hours long just to watch some subs. If you can just watch the whole thing, you know, with dub, so you can just focus on that. And the dub nowadays is not that bad anymore as it was like back in the day, obviously. So you usually do it then, or just if the dub is really that goddamn funny, so I just do it in dub for like long OVAs or something like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
here,
I mean, as long as the quality is like not at the bottom and you can enjoy the story and you prefer the dub for convenience because you dislike reading subtitles and you want
for
to
long
enjoy
things, yeah.
the whole movie without getting distracted by reading, be my guest. I mean, it's better to watch something and enjoy it than um, getting bothered by things that are not that important at the end of the day.
Mm.
So yeah,
I mean, yeah.
and yeah, you guys actually are probably you both buy home video releases even to this day, DVDs, Blu-ray. When you find something
Yeah,
that
I've
you
started
like and you want to watch it, you support the industry. That is something that many people don't do now. I mean,
Agree.
some people do because otherwise the market would just die. No one
yeah,
is
and also
would
streaming
produce.
services. People do that
Yeah,
mostly
basically, more
nowadays, so that's
people,
just real small.
most people nowadays use streaming services, whether they do use the legal ones or the illegal ones. It's not a matter of importance. But apparently, I mean, worldwide, at least for the English releases, the market is still alive, even if it's sort of niche, we can say. But
Yeah,
Very, 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 very niche.
I mean, it has exploded over the years, obviously, like, around 2014, 15, with, like, when Attack on Titan came out. Not probably because it was the reason, but then it became way more popular, and through COVID, and everybody was in their house, and everybody was watching anime, so everybody was discovering all these series, so that got way more popular. So it's way more popular than it was, like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago or something. Like in the 90s, nobody wanted to talk about in public about anime or whatnot, and you were like worse than the normal nerds you could see in your school or whatnot or anywhere. So it's like it was way worse back then than it is now. Now you can just go to, yeah, I mean, I can even talk about anime on my work with some people, so it's good. It improved a lot since back in the day.
yeah, nowadays you will find adults with anime t-shirts on the street. You will find the people, like normal people, normal looking people everywhere talking about this stuff and talking about that they want to share or comment this series on Instagram or some other social media. At the comic book store, every now and then I stumble upon one of those guys. It's funny.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I've
Times have
seen.
changed, definitely.
Yeah, it was even when I was in France, I saw somebody walking around with an Lane shirt and other shirts walking around. But yeah, the market there is obviously big in Italy too, so it's not that
Mm.
surprising to see
I
it.
mean, in France, for certain, the market is on another level, even to this day. I mean, one can say that in Italy we have a huge market for this stuff. I mean, it's true, especially for the last couple of years, it has grown quite a bit. But I don't know. I need to go back to France again because it's been quite some time since I went there and
Mm.
see for myself how things are now. Because I mean, I know for certain that the market is it's huge there and it's bigger than it is now in Italy.
Yeah, yeah. After Japan, it's like the biggest market at the moment, and maybe like Italy is like the third biggest. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but pretty big, obviously. So ads everywhere about manga anime. So like, you know, and that's the biggest, well, second biggest festival on manga and comics. So that really works well for a thing. But yeah, in the cinema I saw Perfect Blue. That was pretty good. And then yesterday I saw only yesterday. It's weird to say. From it's also an unknown Ghibli movie, basically, just about 27-year-old girl or something like that that goes back or takes a holiday to the countryside and reminisces about her past and what her worries were and etc. etc. It was a nice movie. It was a comfort movie, you could say. It was cute. It was cute. Basically about her fifth grade version and a version now, and it has some pretty good backgrounds and some pretty good art. So like
I
was not
mean,
difficult, but
it's a Ghibli movie, and you know what you can
that's help.
expect
Yeah.
art wise. I mean, I watched it, of course. Isao Takata is the director, was the director.
Mm, mm,
I mean, personally, not a favorite of mine. I didn't like that team too much, but to some people, that is maybe the best Ghibli movie ever made. I mean,
could be.
I need to rewatch it again sometime in the future, maybe if I ever feel like watching it again. I don't know.
Mm.
To For now, I will refrain to say anything. Basically,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, was also not my favorite or anything, but it was just nice. It was just not like I was going overboard. I mean, they even added like little details in the faces, like how the faces get older and not just so smooth anymore. Like in all the Ghibli movies, like all the characters, the faces are really smooth and just really nice, etc., etc. And this movie just changed it around, like for all the characters to be look much older or look like their actual age, basically. But it was nice. I mean, it was not bad at all, you could say.
I mean,
And also next month they also have show a bunch of Ghibli movies. Like of course it's December. Of course they have to do that. So I will be watching a few that I haven't watched before. Like what's it called again? Why do I forget all these things? What am I gonna watch?
take your time.
Yeah. No worry. Oh yeah, Nazca Valley of the Wind gonna watch December. Then I'm gonna watch Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, because for some odd reason I haven't seen them. Yeah, I know it's like how could I? But well, I have now the chance to see them in cinema, so like get a bit better experience that I would see on the screen. But yeah, you know, couldn't be worse. But seen anything else, Alcardi?
I'm sorry, I'm just dozing off because I have to go in a while. You're saying
Have you seen anything else, or just something new or whatnot?
of what?
Of anime or manga? Anything really?
I'm mostly reading shoujos in the last days, not because we have in Italy we just have this shoujo gate, but I was already reading
Oh
shoujos.
boy, we are going to talk about that.
No, I'm not gonna talk about it, but it's funny because I was already reading them, so I can say that I have always been doing that. And anime, last anime I saw was Shinsekai Yori, and I really didn't like it, and mostly I don't have time to watch them. Yeah.
Okay. But what's wrong with shojos? What's the problem there then?
Yeah, you don't want to know it.
You don't want to know.
Basically,
What's wrong with
a
being
bunch of
fucked up?
people is complaining because apparently publishers are like against the publishing, releasing shoujo in Italy. They don't announce enough shoujo, and I don't know, stuff got out of hand, and people is making drama out of it, more or less. Nothing worth talking about. I mean, that is something that I don't want to talk about too much.
Okay.
It's cringe, actually.
I see. Okay.
Today I finished reading Fushigi Yugi. It was really fun, but
And what's that about?
it's just one of I think of the first isekai shoujo we got, and this girl who gets sucked into a book, and she has to become the big priestess who's gonna convoke the god who will save the world. I said it very very bad, but it's pretty good and a good cast. It's kind of long. It's only 18 volumes, but there's the first ending, the 13th one, and then there's a second arc, which was we could not have had it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I watched like last week Panzer Dragoon OVA just for the fun of it. It was not that good.
Raccoon what?
Panzer Dragoon OVA.
It's an OVA based on an old video game series that came out for the Sega Saturn. They did a remake for Nintendo Switch and even for Windows of the first game. If you search Panzer Dragoon on Steam, you will find it.
Okay, I understood something raccoon, and I was like, "Yay, raccoon!"
Panzer Dragoon, basically. And that is regarded as being one of the worst OAV anime ever made. I watched it myself, but I mean, I had played the games before, so I mean,
It
I
made more a
knew
bit more sense.
no. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a bad, really bad OAV overall. I mean,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
the main issue is because it's out of context. It's like a rushed, um, like they tried to adapt the story of the first game, I believe, and they did a poor job out of it.
Mhm.
That's all. I don't know. There's nothing much to say actually.
Mhm. And they also lifted, stuff from the game, literally, like the ships, for instance, and all that stuff.
I don't remember anymore. I watched it many, many years ago.
Uh,
Actually,
yeah, yeah, it didn't make much sense. Now it's just literally just got attacked by a dragon. Girl got taken into dragon. Dragon flew off, met another dragon, went after the dragon just to not get to some tower. They got to the tower, and then you know the dragon had to sacrifice himself for some fucking reason, and the tower blew itself up for some reason. I don't know why the fuck was. It's
It's
just
fun.
kind of a rushed and generic plot line, you could say, like, oh no, there's this dark evil tower and we have to stop it before the bad guy gets to it or something like that. It's something you've seen 1,000 times before. And also lots of bad CGI, or like literally lifted from the game. It really literally looked like it. They just lifted from the game and just put in like 2D characters into it. It's like it's pretty,
Mostly, I saw that this anime is from like 1996, so the CG must be very, 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 very bad. So
Yeah, it was not. It's not the high stuff ever. No, they don't even have gifts for it. Well, it's like I mean, is it the worst thing I've ever seen? I guess not, but it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot better. Yeah, it could be.
trust me, there is worse shit than that out there. I mean, take my word for it. I know it because I watched both this OAV and worse stuff.
I think I'm gonna leave you. So thanks for having me. Sorry,
Oh
but
yeah, no
Oh
worries.
yeah,
there's a room for me
you
now.
can join us anytime if you want.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. If you're ever on Discord, that is though.
okay. Thanks again, and goodbye. Have fun.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Bye, bye,
Bye.
man.
So now
So
what? We are going to wait for Qbhall, but I believe he wants to join us today.
yeah. Oh, hi, people. It's actually like seems like a mix of sci-fi, fantasy, future of mankind. Ah, he's on the goddamn dingus. Get on me, you fucking bastard.
By the way, another anime that I consider worse than this. It's another. I don't know if it's an OAV, but I don't want to tell you the name right now because I need to make sure that we can show it on YouTube without getting banned again.
Ah, good. That would be nice. That would be.
Like it's an hentai actually because it's based on a visual novel. No, I think we can show it, but I mean
Mm.
we can't see much from the image on Google. It's called Tsui no Sora, and
Sora.
I mean it's horrible. It's horrible.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
if you
Maybe send a link in the Discord or something. Can
uh,
show
I mean I can
or
put
just the name. Who knows?
okay. I will put it on the chat on Streamlabs,
Mm.
StreamYard.
Wiki. Okay.
I mean
Ah, okay.
the art, as you can see, it's basically an hentai, but
Ah,
of the lowest quality ever. And I mean, the visual novel, to be fair, is the prototype for another visual novel that is regarded as being one of the best visual novel out there by people who likes visual novel or eroge in general. They call it
mhm.
a kamige. Kamige sarebbe, well, sarebbe, sorry for the Italian that came out of me out of nowhere. It's
Cool.
basically kami means God and ge
Mhm.
basically eroge, kami plus kami,
Mm-hmm.
an eroge that is like of god quality,
Mm-hmm. But it
and
isn't.
not this Tsuinosora, but the novel that was based on, or it's called Subarashiki Ibi, wonderful every day. It's available
Mm-hmm.
on Steam, and unfortunately, it sold poorly, even
Mm-hmm.
though it was hyped back then, and people still like it. But I don't know. It's a weird read. I haven't finished reading it because back in the day, before it was released, that they did a fan translation, and actually, the English release, the official release, is based on that same fan translation,
Mm-hmm.
and they continued to translate it and actually release it after a Kickstarter even.
Yeah,
But
it
I don't know.
doesn't
I mean,
sell that well.
it's like 40 or 50 plus hours, and
Bruh.
I don't have the willpower to start the novel again after
The
coming to that.
willpower or the life to do it now. I mean, yeah, I mean, wait, I've seen this on a YouTube video about this one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Christ, look at this background. So
Journey throughout through 40 terrible anime series. This is one of them.
yeah, it looks really fucking generic and bad, and like really amateurish.
Worst anime show, Tsuinosora. That is true. It's one of the worst anime show ever made. It's useless
Mm.
even as an hentai. You can't even
Even as
jerk
an
off.
anti, I couldn't really.
I mean, jerking off is the only thing that you can do. I mean, at the very least,
Even you don't want to be jerking off to that. You have even higher standards than that.
yeah, basically. So
I
it's basically
mean,
a meme.
yeah. I mean, I remember like anime like what was it again? Ken. Yeah, Space Rider Ken or something. It's basically about a 12-year-old kid with his family that tries to save the world every time from these aliens. It's like 5-minute episodes, and it's just really bad. The episodes make no sense at all. The music loops around really badly. The
Mhm.
animation loops really around really badly, and you even see a real hand even pop up, just changing out one of the frames. For that matter, like Kenny Laurel was talked about, it was really goddamn bad. I mean, wait, I can look it up. Let me look. What was it called again? Mm. Mm. God damn it. Can. God damn it. Why can't I remember it? Uh, uh, God damn it. Ugh. Oh yeah, Chargeman Ken. Bingo, that's it. Yeah, Chargeman Ken. Yeah, that's really bad one. Yeah.
I
That's
mean, there are so many bad OAV or anime out there. Unknown, basically. I mean,
yeah. I mean, with Churchman Ken is basically that.
there should be like a My Anime List club about trash anime,
Probably is. I
poorly
mean,
made anime, or I mean, I imagine quite a few Reddit posts about this stuff. Some people
mm,
really like to find the worst shit ever made
yeah. Just to shit all over him. Like, yeah, Kenny Lauderdale does
to
a
laugh,
lot of that.
basically.
Well,
What's better
basically,
than for any like a Saturday evening night than sitting on your couch, grabbing the popcorn and watching
mm,
the worst anime ever made?
yeah,
You get there, you get a beer, and enjoy yourself and laughing like an asshole.
I've seen those. Yeah, I know. Like with Golden Boy, for instance, is also like. But the dub, it's just but
I mean,
those are kind of like
well,
so good that they're bad. No, so bad that they're good. I mean, it's like
I mean,
just
Golden Boy, for the record, is it's actually decent OAV, technically, basically.
Yeah, the voices totally make it like the English dub ones totally make it.
I mean,
Otherwise,
the story, it
yeah,
is
it's
what it
also
is.
really weird. Obviously, it also works for what the OVA wants to show. And I guess the manga got way more weird later on after the OVA got way more edgier, I guess. But I guess that the OVAs then worked pretty well then. But yeah, for the Chargeman Ken, what Kenny basically said was that was made in the 70s, which is for a quick buck, made for a quick buck. Then later on in the 2000s was made set on a DVD, and then Japan got memeing the shit out of it on everything. It even got a live action play on it, on how bad it was with all the memes and whatnot. And it's just like all these little stories that don't work at all. And it's just like, yeah, one story is just like an some doctor or like some doctor had was kidnapped, but the kidnapped one had, I guess, a bomb in his head. And just without warning, Ken just drops him out of drops him out of his ship to his death, basically, just to explode him because he was not the real one, without any explanation and whatnot. It just goes on like that. Just was really weird and stupid. Or like there was also one that has also almost no animation, but just the in betweens are left out, and it's just like the anime just skips to one frame to the next, and just doesn't make any sense. What was that called? I forget everything. Uh,
I'm reading Qbhall. Basically, it says that it can drop in for a bit.
oh, that would be nice if we could.
Join us, Qbhall. We are waiting
Do it,
for you.
Qbhall. Do it, you bastard. Then we get out of these boring conversations.
Yeah, we need him.
Welcome.
Hello. Yeah. As I was saying, we've become, because this is the tropics, we've become overrun with rodents here. You know, yeah, they because of the rainy season, they run inside. So
Yeah, shit. So you have
know,
to kill anything that moves, basically.
Yeah, I kind of. You see that thing with in cartoons where they put cheese in trap? That is
Yeah.
nonsense. They like peanut butter the best, you know.
Uh,
So if you ever need to kill something like that,
yeah,
you know,
fuck. You just literally
I mean,
put
I
it in.
mean, I mean, I mean, trap it humanely and free it after, you know.
And then release it in the water, and then it swims back to your house, and then you just go over it.
Yeah, catch and release, but not here. Release far away, you know. Wink, wink. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I was looking at. I read through the new Nihei book so far that I see that they put up. You know, I know you guys probably go into him kind of expecting things, but I kind of like this because I think the world has a lot more technology than letting on. You know, I think that's kind of a theme with a lot of his stuff where people forget how stuff works. You know, we always talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Have any of you saw the new Pluto episodes? I mean, they're out now.
I haven't even started it at all yet.
Not even the manga.
No, but I've been reading what was it? Hell's Paradise. It's you know about it at all?
Hell's Paradise? No. What's that about?
I mean, I know about it because it has been published in Italy, and it's about Japan in the past, I guess. Like with, it's it's not a modern setting, basically, right, Qbhall?
No, it's but I guess I suppose maybe it's something like I wouldn't really say alternate history because I don't think I've seen anything that didn't really exist. You know, there's no robots or anything, but the Shogun I think is he
I see
wants
there is
yeah,
also an anime called Earth's Paradise. I mean,
right.
it was
It should be
adapted to an anime. Yeah.
yeah, it's the first I guess it's the first few volumes. Yeah, so but the premise is they're basically looking for the secret of eternal life on some mysterious island that the Shogun wants, and he uses because everybody that goes to the island returns as they've been infected by like flowers, kind of like I guess maybe reminiscent of Last of Us, but flowers instead of fungus. So he sends criminals on death row that will be pardoned if they return with the secret of with whatever mysterious fruit that they claim is on the island. But each one of them is guarded by each one of them has assigned their own guard that's supposed to keep them in line, you know. And it doesn't really go as planned, and as you can imagine. And the islands I like there's a lot of bizarre creatures and stuff on the island. And well, I'm now getting into what was really the cause of the creatures. You know, there's no because there seems to be like a mishmash. It's like kind of body horror, strange abominations. You know, there's a guy made out of centipedes and that kind of thing. You know.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I've seen it. Wait, I've seen this going around for a while. Yeah, there was just like this one girl in a really skimpy outfit that everybody was talking about it constantly. I know that, and I saw the manga like sometimes in some shops.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, you gotta put that in, you know, because like we don't just want to be frightening people with grotesque freaks, you know.
No, you gotta have your anime girls, obviously, or else it doesn't.
You know, I mean, even Blame, right? You know, they had a sticky in a couple, 2 or 3 of them in there. You know, even in the dystopian future where everybody's a strange techno troglodyte or whatever, you know.
Oh yeah, all kinds of weird creatures that come around. Like there was this one room where it's just like machines with heads for TVs were just walking around, and just somebody was just creating them non-stop and just died, and just these creatures just walk around aimlessly. Or one creature that Kitty had at a slow blade in the manga. It got Kitty shot down, then the creature just wanted to murder him. Mori woke him up and then shot him, basically. I
Yeah.
don't know what chapter it was.
There's a lot of asides in that book that they never done. They're just kind of Here's a weird thing. We're never gonna see them again. And didn't he destroy a birthing machine? And it was just like a kind of a enslaved grotesque. That its only purpose was to birth copies of.
Yeah. Wait. I know what you mean. Yeah. There was like this community of women. Just they all looked like each other, like they were twins or something like that. And there was just one woman in a machine, and just constantly birthing these new babies, and it's just the other women were taking care of it. And to get it out of its misery, Kitty shot it and was gone. It's all this weird stuff that just pops up and just continuously goes on for so long. Yeah.
That kind of stuff is interesting, because they never really expand on a lot of stuff like that. There was these two. There was one room where they never gave any explanation, but I think they were towering over everybody else. Like everybody else was small. I don't know if you remember that. It was either they were tall or one of them was growing tall or something like that. But basically, the scale was weird.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, he's not always super consistent. So,
yeah. I mean, I remember in one, Kitty was before a door and got scanned, then looked in the control room, but there was just all these weird creatures growing around in it, and just with seats in it and screens and all these weird creatures. You have also no clue what the fuck was going on in there, or just creatures that just exist and just grow in there, or they actually are the purpose of that room. But there's also a lot of fucking. I mean, I remember one part that he just goes up to a wall, and you have these minuscule swimming nanobots, and it's just showing him pictures of like, oh, I'm from the administration. Here's some coordinates to a place where Shibo might be, like the level 9 Shibo at the end of the manga, and just looks for there. It's like all this weird stuff just pops up everywhere, again and again.
Yeah, check out that panel I sent. Look at that and tell me what's going on there. I sent it in the chat because I never quite understood what the hell was happening here, because she's never this tall again. There's a couple, and she's in it in the scene like this for a little bit. Look at that, because that is Kelly next to her, right?
Panel.
On the podcast.
Oh, that's one. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. Oh, yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, that's Sibo. Next there is Sanakon. Camouflage. There's a little girl to get in to wave industries, basically. And then these two are carrying him. Transporting Kitty, because he has these nanobots in him. It's just distort his functions, but the functions get back when he wake up in Wave Industries.
Right, but I was wondering, like, why the other people were so small? Because like there's another panel where everybody is really small.
Maybe it's just Nie's perspective that is just just not consistent, I guess.
Mine isn't good either, so but you see, because this panel came before it, I think this panel was before it, because they visit the village after other thing. And yeah, I just thought it was weird because I think he made a point of showing how tall they were.
Yeah, how tall Sibo was. Yeah, that was like a really tall girl. Yeah, they also said in the movie. Yeah, I know what you mean. I guess it's just like a thing of like not every country has like the same length of people. Like some countries are like really small. In the Netherlands, everybody's like 2 meters or something like that. Often, so they can do
Yeah,
that.
and like in the future, well, I mean, almost even now, people could choose how tall they want to be.
Mhm.
So why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she do that? Because I think I mentioned before, like even right now, people could replace like parts of their ears. They could have like a cochlear implant. So I always figured as long as you're doing that, you might as well give yourself super hearing one time. You know what I mean? As
Yeah,
long
yeah,
as
yeah.
it's like you're going to the store. Well, as long as we're here, you might as well pick. Oh well, as long as I put in a cybernetic implant, I might as well give myself super hearing. And she was found as just a head, right? She was punished by the president or something like that of the
Yeah,
company
yeah,
that
yeah,
she
the
worked for.
president of
Right.
bioelectric.
Yeah, so I figured she always wanted to be taller. So
Yeah, I guess. But I remember from her memory when she, got the Netzer up again with the girl in the simulation basically. Because it was already pretty tall. If you put her next to the seventh clone of the president or something like that. So I guess she was always that tall, but she has just different color of hair and just wanted to get something of her original body back, so he just put it in there and then worked out that. And I guess in just like the wave industries, it's just these people are just so small because evolution. And Sonacon is just like she can just print herself again to be way taller than everybody else. Like I don't know what they were like millions of years ago, like thousands of years ago or something like that. How
I,
tall they were. So
I don't know if you ever you probably played Half Life too, or maybe you did Koma.
yeah, I did a few times.
Yeah, I remember there were these they reminded me of there were these stalkers, creatures called stalkers. So like humans
Mm,
kind of brought down to like the most basic level.
mm,
Um, so just basically for the least amount of resources to keep them alive as slaves essentially.
mm.
Um, and I was wondering if they made those people small so that they would be easier to control and less resources to keep alive. Uh, that was something I was wondering if
Mm.
that was why, because uh, just if we want to force us slaves, we would want them to take up less resources. Is how I would imagine that these guys were thinking. Because I read a lot
Yeah,
of I read a lot of sci-fi, and the people in that future, they in one of these books, they they're very weak because they're only made to be like a disposable workforce. They don't need to be very strong. So I mean, even a punch could from a regular modern human could shatter every bone in their body.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. It's just fodder. It's just like you put some AA batteries in him, you let him do what he's supposed to do, and just
Yeah,
kill him.
exactly. It's like it's kind of the opposite of what I'm saying about as long as we're making a implant, we might as well make it better. It's like, oh well, as long as we're making a series of crude humans, we might as well make them weak to take care of to take care of them is using as little resources as possible. I remember like they described their blood as being like rose water almost. So just
Mm.
slightly, just enough hemoglobin to support them.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. And he has these women, yeah, that lived forever or like cloned forever, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were the there was never really a concrete explanation as to a lot of things. Like what would why would the Silicon Life, trying to stop him?
Well, they
I-
want to continue the chaos, because the chaos of the city, basically. So without the chaos, they can't survive. If there was a system in place, they would be hunted systematically, because they wanted to. They couldn't really do much to stop that, because they don't really have the brain power for that. So if the chaos keeps going, just the endless growth of the city, then they can just thrive, because nobody is going after them, because there's no system in place to go after them. So they can just run around wild, basically.
right. So the agents are chaos. Then.
Yeah, basically, kind of. I mean, it's just like, oh yeah, okay, if we keep these geniuses just occupied with themselves and not get the gene to them and just stop that part from happening, then we can thrive and survive. And our only real problem is basically Kitty, and the rest is like just fodder and not that important, basically.
All right. So it's interesting. Like I'm supposed to be this. A lot of people are fans of Blame, but a lot of people don't even really understand a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like
I know.
because that's not really explicitly said or explained, or maybe it is.
No,
It's
no,
not in your face, basically.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. You need to reread it thousands of times just to get over and over, and just read theories and talk to people all the time and just sharing ideas, and then you get this, and then you get those stories really in your head. Otherwise, it's just like aimlessly reading around, and you're just like, what the fuck have I just read? Like, I was like that too when the first time I read it. Like, the fuck is this all? And then you just reread it, and you see all these little details and ideas and whatnot falling out. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I'm like, oh, that's why. I'm like, And then you get to theory stuff of all the universes, and some people said that see it is like total bullshit, that nothing is connected with each other, and other people say, oh, it's possible, and other people say like, oh no, the beginning and the end are connected. They're not, but hey, that's just the theory that people have, and you go on and on and on with series like these. Oh, and
yeah.
you probably have missed it. Tower Dungeon has now a new English translation, so you can read the first chapter now on MangaDex.
Oh yeah, I read it. That is what I think I mentioned it. I'm not sure, but
What do you think about it?
yeah, I liked it. I thought like that is what I was mentioning earlier when I said I thought it had a good I thought there was some sci-fi elements that was gonna come in later, but I mean they might never even address that. They might just because I mean the tower is floating, but something definitely is different there because there's some creatures that don't seem. It doesn't seem only supernatural, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
there was a pile of bodies, and the guy just said, "Yeah, don't harass those guys, because that's going to be a problem if you wake them up." Just a big pile of bodies, Just seeing that kind of.
Yeah. Apparently they were alive and they weren't to be spotted by him or something like that. And obviously the safeguards return in some form, or just like he puts them there just to say like, oh no, they're safeguarding something, so we put the safeguard symbol on. Or they got those guys from like they got the symbols from like something they found a long time ago from a different civilization, and they reused it or something like that. Maybe they gone back to the Middle Ages. Maybe it was full of technology, gone back to the Middle Ages, and don't really know they understand the old technology anymore. So that's why you see all these creatures and all this stuff going on. It's not real magic, but it looks like magic. Something like Bastard, for instance. Bastard was like in the beginning of the story, you saw all these technology going around, and now it's just being compared to magic. But it's not real magic. It's just like hidden technology, forgotten technology that's being reused so far as my theory, but who knows?
That was but that was never concluded, right? I know it's like a super long ongoing series, but it's Bastard, right?
Yeah,
All right,
it's basically that kind of idea.
I had to get into that. I haven't seen the old one or the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's.
I
Oh yeah.
saw a few episodes of
It,
new anime, but yeah.
oh, have you ever heard of Koma might have heard something of this. Um, the long afternoon of Earth and or Hot House.
It doesn't ring a bell, so I don't know.
Yeah, there was there's these old yeah, just let me see if I could yeah, I believe I actually heard of it in a Pants Dragoon kind of a forum or site. Yeah, I think this is yeah, there was somebody discussing it. I think on a Pants or forum, just
Mm.
right. But basically, is a world that it seems to kind of be winding down, similar to the Panzer world. Like I think the sun is growing and not uh like the sun is dying. Then before the sun goes nova, it will get bigger and kind of consume the nearest planets. So it hasn't consumed Earth yet, or made life totally unlivable, but it's totally changed what kind of the dominant life is. So yeah, you could check that out. But yeah, is the guy has like his stuff isn't really like scientifically sound, but is interesting. In a way that's almost like kind of freeing. Is because if you're being too accurate, it's like you almost can't be that imaginative. Like there's nothing. Yeah, like there, a dragon, it mightn't be something that could realistically evolve or exist. You know, or maybe it could. I'm not sure, but I don't think you'll be able to shoot lasers. That part at least. So yeah.
Yeah.
I, I think that's kind of like what it kind of reminds me of Lovecraft because his stuff isn't because it was before a lot of this stuff was even figured out. He was using 100% imagination, to know what could be out there. But I think that maybe because people know no more now, it stifles what they feel that they could write or come up with, if that makes sense. In
Yeah.
a way, because now that we know, people will people buy this? Will people believe this? Will we be able to suspend disbelief?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, have you heard of The Invisible by Stanislav Lem?
Um, the Invisible. That's
Yeah,
the whole a
Polish
movie.
sci-fi writer for novels, basically. Saw a game series on it. It was pretty interesting. It's basically just a research team landing on a moon of a planet that's almost that's almost gone. It's like everything is almost gone, but there's some life still left, and also a mysterious mecha structure of metal that doesn't go anywhere with these micro fly micro robots that just erase everybody's memories that come in contact with it, basically. And there's a
Uh,
huge mystery going on about it.
oh, could you share the link there? I'm not sure if I find it.
Yeah, let me do that.
But that is interesting. I mean, I'm glad that is.
Yeah,
Check it out.
it is on Steam, but there's also some YouTube series that did the whole game, so you can watch it on there if you don't have the time of power to do that. But the game is pretty good. It's pretty, close
Okay.
to the
Right.
novel, basically what they said.
Okay. I saw it. I saw it kind of making the rounds. Um, uh, it definitely look interesting, and is not a walking sim, right? Or is it? Or is it
Well,
adventure game?
a lot of it, yeah. The majority is kind of like a walking sim. Yeah, it's not. There's a lot of talking, a lot of walking, but it gets. But it had some action moments in there. There's like these giant robots that you see in here. These are like laser robots that can just, laser down walls and just melt walls and just walk through them and just kill anything that's in its path. And they're also, and these flying robots, flying micro robots, can take them over and can just kill people and just, you know, go its own. But but it has a good atmosphere to it. It's just. Good thing to it. It's not just all walking. There's just also some action to it and some logic, and there's also some different ends to it. But I don't know. I would recommend it. It's just a kind of this mystery, this giant mech structure of a civilization that they don't understand anymore. There's a kind of this like 70s vibe to it because the novels came out in the 70s. This is kind
All
of
right.
has the technology of that time, you could say. But I don't know. Pretty good.
It definitely look interesting though. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I saw it before.
Mm.
Uh, I didn't realize. I didn't. Actually, I forgot the name though, but it definitely had a striking look, like you say. It have this kind of retro futuristic.
Yeah. Kind of like the Alien game, for instance,
Right.
from a few years ago.
Yeah, I think that is so interesting. Like that was because it was made with that stuff. I guess like it's like an example of limitations. Making something is adding to it. Like the limitation, like oh well, the first Alien was made with a low budget. We can't get some kind of crazy ultra futuristic sci-fi set.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, is more utilitarian. We're using CRTs and stuff, and now that is like is iconic.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, 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 yeah. It worked,
yeah,
obviously,
yeah, and
for
it's,
the long run.
it's kind of anachronistic in a way. Um,
Mm.
because you think, oh well, surely in the future everybody gonna have a flat screen. Uh, but yeah, that is a game is a that is one of the kind of games that I have a lot of difficulty beating. Just because it's not hard to play. It's probably not even hard to beat, but it's just hard to deal with.
Mm.
With Alien, yeah. And I know that a lot of times the alien isn't there, but you're just afraid that is there.
Yeah. It's
You
just the
know,
fear of the unknown, just something that's lurking about, but you have no clue where it is or what it is.
or you've actually beaten it, or
The game? No, I never played the game. I just saw the whole
yeah,
game on YouTube. Like I saw with many things, but yeah, I
yeah.
know that's like I don't
It's
know.
like
Obviously,
uh,
hmm?
yeah. Go ahead.
I also saw an older 18 game that's actually almost impossible to play because it's like from the PlayStation 2 or something, or the Genesis or something like that. And it's also really impossible to play because on how it was coded and put together. Now you get little ammo and lots of enemies, and it's almost hard to deal with. Basically, nice
It,
art, nice visuals, but it was not viable to really play well, especially with the controls back in the day. You could play it with a mouse, but it's nothing to write home about
this
on
um,
how to beat
which
it.
one? Which one? This was on PS2 or PS1?
I think PS2. Wait, let me look that up if I can find it.
Because I think I know the game you're talking about, but it's PS1,
Hmm,
and it's crazy.
yeah, that could be.
Uh, well, back then, you know, they'd allow you to save yourself into a corner. Yeah, frig you. It's your own fault.
Here, yeah, PlayStation Resurrection. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's this. Yeah, that's impossible to play. Some good art going on, but it's it's not it's not great.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's something.
it's not easy. Is because these were the games where I think now uh they put certain checks in place to ensure that you don't save yourself into a corner. So if you don't have enough uh resources to make it through, the save doesn't trigger.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's
but
also
now you know,
very little save points. Yeah.
yeah, it's not. But now you could totally do it. That's why up to this day I'm still afraid of saving in the same slot if the game has multiple save slots. You know, like
Yeah.
we better alternate this shit because we're gonna be screwed if we
Yeah. You have to have mods to let that work. It's the same as Dead Space. It's also like these stations where you have to save, or otherwise you can't save mid game or anywhere else. So you're like, oh, at the end of somewhere, and it's just like, and you're just dead, and you just, oh fuck, I have to go back like 2 levels ago to a save point. It's like, yeah, that shit sucks. Yeah, I haven't finished those games in a long while.
yeah is you could still do it though. I think in some modern games that where they're like trying like I think could you do it in Signalis? Uh,
I mean, as Signalis, you could save anywhere really. It was not really that difficult to do that. Really, now Signalis is a bit more easier on that.
okay, I know
Basically,
that.
no,
Right, that
Signalis you can just save about anywhere. That's not really a problem
but, uh,
that much.
it might seem weird, but I do think that I think that having limited saves uh kind of adds to the horror of
Yeah, yeah. I
if
can
that makes
see that.
sense here. You know,
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, like, the fear of losing all your progress, or when is the next save? When can I finally escape this? And just save and just hope that you can survive to the next spore. And yeah, that's what the character is thinking. Like, when can I take a breather somewhere and just save myself? So yeah, I mean, the re-release or the remaster of what is it? The Dead Space game, the first game basically, it just has also these kind of moments that you think like, oh, is there now some big enemies coming up, or just like you go into old areas you've been through, and I'm like, oh shit, anything can pop out, but it's not like just in the thing is, it's just like by surprise something can come out, or it just puts you in that atmosphere, something can come out, but nothing comes out. So it's not like just a steady going of like atmosphere of sounds or whatnot. It's just like at random. So, but yeah. Mm, have you been watching anything, or just the same thing like last time?
Mm.
let me see. I've been watching there's a show called Beacon 23. Uh,
Hmm.
um, it's uh it's based on a book. I've been trying to find. Well, I always mention Three Body Problem, and I've been reading like a huge amount of books trying to kind of recapture that. And that was, I believe, that was one that was mentioned. But uh,
Mm-hmm.
it takes place on an isolated space station, and
Hmm.
well, I can't really say much because they haven't really revealed a lot yet, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So I haven't read the book, but I'm still trying to see what the hell
What's going on, basically.
basically what's going on.
Yeah, I've been watching Castlevania Nocturne. That's basically after the main series of Castlevania. That's pretty good so far. It's like a bit more. It's set in France in like the 18th, 19th century or something like that. 17th century could be. And they're going after this Messiah that's supposed to have the sun just blacked out so they can just reign forever, basically. With like descendants of the original characters, kinda, and they've been going around and around. So yeah, it's pretty interesting so far. So not bad, a bit more diverse, I guess, with lots more genders or lots more, slavery was also in there. It was also in some there, somewhere in there. But yeah, pretty good so far. It's 8 episodes, all released already, so I have to watch the rest of that things. And obviously Pluto, need to watch. That's also heard that it's really good.
Yeah, I need to watch that too.
Oh,
And I think I mentioned Undead Murder Force or something like that. Is a bizarre name. Yeah. Oh, but sorry, what you were saying, Koma?
yeah, I would like to catch up with Piluto because it interests me. And the fact that basically every episode is like 1 hour, and each episode is like a volume of the manga adapted into anime, right? So, I mean, it's going to be a good occasion for me to get back and rediscover this series because I read the first volume many years ago, but for one reason or another, I haven't continued to read the manga, and I will try again with the anime now. Then they are releasing it on Netflix. That's about it.
Okay. I need
So
to. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm hearing good things about how it's made. Apparently, they did a really good job with this adaptation. Do you confirm?
Right, yeah, they definitely did. Well, because I didn't see it, but the way people are raving about it, and so it seems like it's so beloved that if something was wrong, we would have heard about it by now. Even if we wasn't looking for it, we'd have heard about it.
Oh well, that is what always happens when something it's poorly made and expectations are let down.
It was in development hell for a couple of years. I know it's been announced that there would come an anime. It's also been years ago, obviously.
I haven't heard outcry about the new well, I always will call it Samurai X. The new
Kenshin?
Yeah. So I guess people like it. I guess people are okay with it. I'm not sure. A lot of people who know more about the individual studios running it, they told me that studio isn't exactly the best studio. But that I guess some of them hope that they would rise to the occasion, given such a huge property, if that makes sense. So, but I will say that it might be a weird thing to single out, but the soundtrack isn't nearly as good. The soundtrack in the original one. I mean, have you ever seen that where there's a remake that and the original had a great soundtrack and the second didn't, and it seemed to take a lot of the impact away. I don't know if that makes sense. Because I feel like
yeah, I get what you mean, but I don't really remember any series that it's just like the soundtrack is so generic that you would just like it takes out the energy out of the scene. I guess with boxing anime, latest boxing anime, when Joe was like 50 years ago, then it was just like sometimes dip, but yeah.
all right. I think it was probably necessary in like a lot of lower budget stuff where they kind of needed the music to pick up the slack, if that makes sense. They needed the music to pull the emotional weight there.
Yeah.
You can't always show everything. If somebody just like a lot of anime would do like a shortcut where they would literally use panels and have somebody talking over it. Like if somebody's relating a story of there was a battle with 10,000 men. Well, we can't draw that. So we just gonna have you talk over panels and play some music. How's that? But I mean, it's just a reality of the production then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm still glad that one thing people hope is that this anime would finally adapt the last arc of the manga, which was never fully adapted. I think it's the Jinchu arc or something, but basically the one with you read the manga, right, Koma?
No.
Oh, yeah, I haven't read it. Okay. Well, yeah, that is. I don't know what you guys.
Wait, you mean? Sorry, I lost. You lost myself for a moment. Could you repeat?
The samurai.
Oh yeah. The
manga,
Kenshin manga. Yes, of course.
Okay. All right.
I've read everything. It was actually one of the first manga that I ever read when I was like a teenager. Yeah, it's a good manga. I mean, the best part for me was the final arc or something that was in the final arc, the flashback of the protagonist is past and
right.
What was later adapted into that OAV series, Trust and Betrayal, Samurai X. I mean, in English.
Right.
Yeah, watch that.
Yeah. Oh, that was
that is an amazing anime series. Yes.
Yeah. What I think interesting is that that was adapted on its own, and it's kind of own continuity because it is not related to the TV series.
Basically, there was no connection in the manga. That part, the same part covered in the OAV, was told. I'm not doing spoilers here, but basically, it's the protagonist telling to the rest of the cast what happened to him in the past, in his life. But those OAV could be seen as a standalone product. It's the same content, but it's not connected to. Maybe in the TV series they did the same. The same content is present.
No, they never. You see, that is the interesting thing. That is part of the arc that was never adapted. Because
you mean in the original anime, Kenshin anime that did like 20 years ago or more? It was in the early 2000s. It wasn't adapted?
No, which is weird because it seems like what happened was they ran out of chapters and they made up their own thing as they are wont to do. And it seems like as usual people wasn't really into it. So if the ratings dropped, ironically they're not gonna adapt the best part because they'll be cancelled before that. It's kind of messed up. Yeah, and I feel like that's happened a few times where like they adapt something and it's not good, but it's not what the original creator had put in, so they're cancelled before they're able to adapt anymore. Kind of a catch-22 situation. I mean, in that case, should they just pause making it until the guy catches up? I don't know what do people do in that case,
Yeah. I mean, they've done with a few anime, like Hellsing obviously had it. That wasn't finished yet, so they just made up their original ending and it just didn't match up with the anime with the manga at all. So that's nothing new. Or like filler episodes or whatnot. If the manga had something going on and couldn't get the rest of the chapters out.
Was there ever a time where people liked the filler episodes?
But filler episodes, I mean,
Yeah. Did anyone ever like them?
the majority, no. The majority was just your random, your basic episodes like going to the onsen or like a sport event or something like that. And it just goes on and on and on. I guess the only series I really liked it was probably from Doro, and also some filler stuff in the beginning and some short stories. But I don't know, it really worked for the world. It just really get you in more into the characters and the fights that we're into and the dumb jokes they get into. I don't know, they presented it a bit more fun than just have a cheap shot at an onsen or like dumb sport event or just I don't know a book club or whatever the fuck they came up with. They presented it better, they did it better. For the manga and for the anime, they didn't have to because the manga was already finished, so they could just put it in and it didn't matter. But yeah, that's one of the few stories that I think like would actually work. Or like I don't know, extra chapters after the volume, for instance. Just some short stories they did in between. That can be kind of fun for like One Punch Man, for instance. Or
Oh, so
obviously.
the manga is concluded for that?
For Dorador, yeah. It's been a couple of years since 2018, I think. Been concluded.
And
Okay,
now
no,
another manga is being published by the same author.
Yeah, Die Dark.
Die Dark.
Flame 6 is being
It's
released,
very similar. It's actually, I mean, the art it's the same.
obviously. Yeah, this time set in space. This time, I don't know. I didn't really fell in love with it with the first chapter like I did with Dora, but it's still great. It has to grow on you. I would say it's not his strongest work or she, whatever. We don't know. But there's still fun characters. It's basically you see a lot of character designs you've seen before, like Kaido or Noi. I mean, Dev basically in Die Dark, it's basically Noi, but not a shit brick house with there's apps and she just can destroy anything on her path. Basically, well, she can because it's Dev, but you get what I mean. But it's a fun manga, and Volume 6 is gonna be out in like December or something like that.
okay, I actually don't know too much about it. I know the world is crazy though. Oh well, I'm talking about Doro. I don't know anything about
Outdoor,
it.
oh no, that's a fun manga. I would recommend that if you like your weird stories, obviously you like that. And humor's a bit lowbrow. It's not the best in the world, but it works for the world and the characters. So it's a good it's a good read. It's just lovable characters. Like even the antagonists you really gonna love at the end of the series or like throughout the series. You could say it's just like a nice read to read uh, from time to time with like this early 2000s feel to it. You could say this nostalgic feel almost kind of with the clothes and the clothing and the world and whatnot.
No? So this is by the same creator, right? The same.
Yeah, QSI. It's same creator.
Okay,
Uh,
I'll have to check it out. I mean, the list is always be growing.
yeah, it's also real long. Yeah. It's the anime, manga, but you get it. Also got a figurine from it from France. So it's just a huge doll from Kaiman. That's the main character of the series. It's like this doll that's all has clothes on. And you can just move and just change the heads and hands and whatnot and weapons. It's pretty nice, but really got them expensive. But just like one time buy, you wouldn't find anywhere else. I wouldn't have expected it in a store anywhere. Oh.
Uh, let me see
Yeah,
what
it's
else have I
these
been.
kinds.
I'm trying to remember what else I've been watching or reading. Oh well, I mentioned that Scavengers show last time. I don't know if you guys checked it out.
No. Well, but I guess we have to end it here because it's already over 2 hours. 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. So
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I guess we see you next time, and like, subscribe, all the good shit. So bye.
Bye.
All right. Later.
Later.
Bye.